Belt Conference men's basketball, and as Christmas morning draws closer and closer, we bring you a Mountain State battle inside Marshall's Cam Henderson Center here in Huntington, West Virginia on this Tuesday evening, December 23rd. The homestanding Thundering Herd of Marshall will face off with the visiting Golden Bears of West Virginia University Tech out of Beckley, West Virginia. Marshall playing its final non-Sunbelt game of the season against the team out of Beckley. Tech is a member of the NAIA's River States Conference. Marshall coming in at 7-5. Tech is 3-7. Greetings from Huntington, along with analyst Stevie Browning, the former Thundering Herd standout, Riley Burnett, our sideline reporter, our great crew of Mark Martin. Delighted to have all of you with us. Stevie, great to be with you here right before Christmas Day, just about. And when you look at this game, Marshall coming off that first Sunbelt Conference game, it was a loss and want to bounce back quickly. Meanwhile, for WVU Tech, I think Corny Jackson said it best this week. There's a lot of West Virginia kids on this Tech team. This is their Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, as a former guy who has played at the non-Division I level, playing D1 teams, this is what you play for right here. And you look, a Logan native right there, Jackson Tackett, him and Cole Chapman, a lot of it's going to be on them today. It's going to be on Tackett to kind of, you know, figure out a way to keep these big guys at Marshall off the glass. And Cole Chapman kind of runs the show for him. He's their point guard. He's who everything runs through. So taking care of the ball and getting his team in the right positions is going to be huge for Tech. On the other end, we got the two bigs for Marshall.
Right.
Matt Van Komen and Wyatt Fricks. You know, they're going to have mismatches the entire game, and if they can dominate the paint and grab offensive rebounds, it's going to be awful tough for Tech to survive this one.
Yeah, when you look at this game, Stevie, this is a small lineup now. We talked with the coaching staff at WVU Tech about, you know, what they face here. They've gone small, and they like playing small. And we'll see how they can match up here with the Thundering Herd, which definitely has the height advantage.
Well, you have to try something because you're not gonna make them. You're not gonna be able to handle their size. So you got to try something to change it up, and going small is not bad.
All right, Riley Burnett, the third member of our team. Riley, good evening to you.
Mark, we are here at the Cam Henderson Center in Huntington, West Virginia, preparing for a big in-state matchup. Now, as Mark mentioned on Saturday, Marshall losing that conference game at Troy, coming back home tonight, trying to get back in the win column. Now for West Virginia Tech, also coming off a loss against Shawnee State. However, in their last win against Appalachian Bible College, they put up 113 points. So we know this is a high-powered offense that is capable of doing a lot of damage. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Riley. And we have our game underway here. Our officials, James Curran, Jesse Joseph, James Gibson. Get to Stevie's keys to this one in just a moment. Well, right there, just take it inside to the big guy.
Yeah, that's tough for Tech. They've got 6'3.5" Jackson Tackett guarding 7'4" Matt Van Komen. And Van Komen just able to catch high, keep high. Not a whole lot you can do with that.
Can't convert to three-point play. Wyatt Fricks with the rebound, and Marshall will reset here. No Chudy to Wyatt Fricks. So the two big guys right out of the gate for the Thundering Herd, and Marshall with the opening 4-0 lead. Our starting lineups are presented by Highmark, and for West Virginia Tech, Brandon Moore, Liam Craven, Cole Chapman, Ian Goings, and Jackson Tackett. And the Thundering Herd again countering here tonight as Hollenbeck drains the three-pointer. And just like that, Corey Egger wants a timeout here on the court. Catch your breath, all right?
Yeah, and, you know, Tech is going to have to find a way to not give up second chance points. Easier said than done, but first possession, you know, they got the and one and then missed the free throw. Marshall got the rebound and then ended up getting it back and getting a bucket, which is a huge swing. And in a game where you're going to have to fight, scratch, and claw to death to stay in. You got to find ways to box out early make sure you're keeping those big guys out of the paint when the shots go up, because if they get in the paint, there's nothing you can do about it.
Corey Akers' staff includes Benitez Jackson, who is the brother of Corny Jackson, younger brother by a couple of years. The Golden Bears with the basketball and trying to get something going here now. Coming in at 3-7, 0-3 on the road this season. Marshall's 5-1 at home. Here is Jackson, Tackett, and Tackett. Alter a little bit. Chapman goes away with it and firing, and off target there, Brandon Moore, who averages 15.7 a game. Checking out the Thundering Herd starting lineup here. Again, presented by Highmark, Wyatt Fricks, Matt Van Komen, and Noah Ochudi. Caleb Hollenbeck and Jalen Spear.
Tech's going to have to find a way to get a good look. You know, I think that the past two possessions, they have had Jackson Tackett on quick little slips on the pick and roll, but kind of been late. And if you're late, Matt Van Komen's going to get back and make it too hard to shoot.
Brandon Moore out of Lima, Ohio. Goes to Tackett. Tackett wheeling, and now will go back. Well, they just ran out of time. Got it into the hands of Goings, who also averages in double figures, but unfortunately time runs out.
Yeah, just a good job of staying solid by Marshall.
All right, Stevie, your impacts before this one.
Yeah, for Tech, got to keep Marshall off the glass. We've seen that not happen already here, and then got to guard the three-point line. If Marshall is getting offensive rebounds and then kicking out and making threes, it's going to be an ugly one.
Taken away by the Golden Bears. Goings driving in, but denied. Fricks, Komen, bucket.
And on the Tech side, you know, they've got to figure out a way to get it in transition, because, you know, as we've seen, they're going to have a tough time scoring on Marshall's set defense.
Liam Craven out of Brantford, Ontario, went to the Combine Academy. Couldn't get it to go, and he comes out there off the Marshall offensive miss. Golden Bears back to it here. Cole Chapman, standout from Shady Spring, West Virginia, to Craven.
Yeah, he's got a twin brother. We talked about it a little earlier. Went to Tech last year with him, and I think he averaged about 22 or 23, and then ended up transferring to the University of Charleston this year.
Shot won't go for Hollenbeck. Yeah, Braden Chapman, his twin brother, and they played a couple of years there together at Tech, and he's averaging 11 at UC. Shot up, and it goes. Goings knocks it through. Golden Bears on the board.
And they needed that one right there.
And we'll get into it as the evening goes on. Rich history, certainly for Marshall's basketball program, and definitely for Tech's as well. Old Chapman to Ian Goings. Goings out of Columbia, South Carolina. Here's Tackett working against Hollenbeck. And Tackett takes it up and in.
That's what he wants to do. That's where he has, you know, got to where he's gotten is on that block. But, you know, it's just a little bit tough to do against Van Komen.
Hollenbeck dribble drive baseline good. Hollenbeck with 5 in the game. Tackett. Go back to that young man from Logan. Started his career at Alice Lloyd. Now playing here for Tech, driving, and there'll be a foul called there. Goings taking it in, or was that Moore?
That's Moore. That was Moore.
Moore taking it in.
And looked like he just kind of got tackled a little bit.
Sure did. All right, break in the action here. Marshall with the early lead over the Golden Bears of West Virginia Tech here in Huntington. Back inside the Cam Henderson Center here in Huntington. Marshall entertaining West Virginia University Tech. And when you talk about these two programs, Cam Henderson Henderson needs no introduction. What he did with Marshall, credited with a 3 zone defense, the fast break, and how about the late great Neil Bicey, introduced as the head coach at Tech in 1954, 263 wins, credited with implementing the zone press into the game, the Papa Bear, and I've got tons and tons of notes on both these guys. We'll talk more about it, but boy, what legends they were.
Yeah, just right there. That's a lot of impact on the game of basketball as a whole, coming from the state of West Virginia.
And it's interesting, Cam Henderson had coached at Davis and Elkins, so he had been at Elkins. Neil Bicey was a native of Elkins and went to West Virginia Tech and never played college basketball. He was a football player. At the free throw line for Tech. Shot is up and good, so Tech's leading scorer, Brandon Moore, is on the board. The 11-7 game. Adam Seams wears number 0, and Trayton Woods, who wears number 11. They have checked in for the Golden Bears. And what more, Stevie, can you say about Noah Ochudy?
He's played well. He played well last game, and especially when he gets into that mid-range area, into the paint. He's athletic, and he jumps well on his jumpers, so it makes it really tough to guard.
Here's Woods firing from the outside and knocking down the shot. Trayton Woods, his 20th three-pointer of the season, 13-10 game.
And Tech showing some life here.
Eric Harding, who played very well against Troy, Corny Jackson pointed out just how well he competed and for the Thundering Herd.
And you said it right there. He competes. You know, whether he's making shots or he's missing shots, or he's making a mistake or he's doing something positive, he's going to play extremely hard. He's going to crash the glass. And, you know, that's all you can ask as a coach from a coaching standpoint.
Tech had the ball, throwing it away. Marshall back with it here with 14-15 to go. Good look there at Adam Seams, a native of Lewisburg, West Virginia. Played his high school basketball for Bimbo Coles, one of the all-time great West Virginia basketball players. Spent a lot of time in the NBA, also in for Marshall. Drew Fuquay, his shot won't go down there. Fuquay, 6'8", 221, junior out of Detroit. Tech back to work and looking to close the gap. And here's Tackett. He'll rifle and connect with the 3.
He can shoot that.
Jackson Tackett, his 11th three-pointer of the season. We're tied at 13. Jalen Spear whipping it down low and knocked away. And the Golden Bears have it. Here's Seams.
And Tech has, you know, gotten to a little rhythm.
Rifling from the outside as Goings couldn't get that one to go. Marshall back to work here. Setting those feet is Wilson Dubinsky. Checked in a moment ago as well, and Dubinsky trying to deliver his 17th 3 of the season. Couldn't get it to go. Seams will let it fly, and Seams couldn't get it to go. Seams is kind of an interesting story.
Yeah.
He's a senior. He's graduated. He's got his degrees. He was a great soccer player in high school, and Jalen Spear committed the foul. They didn't think he was going to get to play. They thought it had used up all of his athletic eligibility, but they worked it out, and he coached for a few games and then finally got to it. So this is just his 3rd game of the season.
Yeah, I was actually went to watch my little brother play down in Georgetown College when they played Tech, and Seams was coaching, and I thought he had a year left, and they said he graduated and had to, and then next thing you know, here he is playing. So I was all confused coming into the game.
Here's Woods driving, step back, can't get it to go. Hollenbeck, who checks back in for Marshall, collects the missed shot. Landon Joseph has entered the game for Marshall. Number 6, Hollenbeck will shoot it up from the 3-point line.
Oh, we had another one.
Here's Harding, and he turns around, little one-hander.
It looked like he kind of lost that one.
Well,
still
right
made it
into the net, right?
It's the best lost shot I've ever seen.
Cole Chapman will force it up there, and he will be fouled.
And I have watched Cole Chapman play since he was a tiny little kid. Him and my little brother are the same age, so you know they were always battling. Him and his brothers, Dad Logan and Shady Springs. They had a good rivalry going on there for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, mentioned that he played alongside his twin brother, and they had a thing going there at Shady Spring. Played in 3 straight state championship games. Would have played in a 4th, I think, but that was the COVID year, and they didn't get a chance to compete in the state tournament at all. Chapman, an 84.6% free throw shooter, and boy, could not get either of those to drop down. And there was one time I did a game with Shady Springs, so it was the 2 twins, Braden and Cole, and they had 2 older brothers who were seniors when they were freshmen. They were twins, Haven and Dane, and they were all 4 on the court at the same time. I love it.
You don't see that a whole lot.
Wyatt Fricks will knock in the shot. Fricks coming in, averaging 13.4 a game. Marshall by 4.
You could probably search the country far and wide and not find 2 different sets. Oh, there's a deep one. 2 different sets of twins playing at the same time. Right back. Nice extra pass.
So this young man has really starting to show what he's all about, Landon Joseph.
Yeah, plays well. Isn't scared to take shots. Defends at a high level. Plays with energy.
That is his 9th 3 of the season. Wrote an RM for Techie's number 22. Penetrates and trying to get it into the corner to Goings. Knocked away. Tech's ball when we return. Break here at the Cam Henderson Center. Thundering Herd on top of the Golden Bears by 7. Corey Ankert, the head coach for West Virginia Tech. Served as an assistant for 5 seasons. And been a part of that program. Native of Beckley. Played for the Woodrow Wilson Flying Eagles, graduate of 2015. And so, you know, there was a great rivalry, between Beckley and Oak Hill on the basketball court. So you got the Oak Hill Red Devil and Corny Jackson going up there against the Flying Eagle.
Yeah, and, you know, some things just, you can't get away from them.
Well, I think he has to be pleased thus far. Certainly the way Marshall started.
Absolutely. The biggest thing when you're playing Division I teams as a NAIA or D2 is weathering the storms and rebounding. And you know, up to this point, they've done that okay. They've had a couple turnovers that have hurt them, but for the most part, you know, they haven't played bad at all.
Joseph picked up there by Chapman, brings it across the timeline for the Thundering Herd out there with Wilson Dubinsky and Eric Harding, Wyatt Fricks, and Caleb Hollenbeck, and the shot from the corner, and Wyatt Fricks knocks it down.
That's 2 in a row for Wyatt Fricks. He's had some games where he has got real hot real quick.
Fricks has 7 in the game and averaging 13.4.
And he's kind of been plagued with foul trouble this year.
This is 19th 3 of the season. Jackson Tackett trying to negotiate against Harding. Goings will have to let it go and can't get it to drop, but a good job there by Trayton Woods to keep it alive for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, and Tackett's going to want that ball down there.
Tackett muscling against Dubinsky. Fricks comes in to help out. Tackett just stay with it. Just like those Logan guys, they never give up.
Listen, I watched him do that exact move 1,000 times when he was in the gold and blue. And he's still in the gold and blue.
Here's Fricks looking for another three. That one won't go, but Caleb Hollenbeck is there to give Marshall another opportunity here. I did notice, Stevie, I'm just teasing you here, but our impact players, you did pick a Logan guy. You had to keep it there in Southern West Virginia.
Listen, we have to look out for each other when we get a chance. Nobody else does.
Cole Chapman commits the foul. That's his first. Bryce Slay checking into the game. Jalen Spear and Noah Ochuti will head in. Dubinsky and Joseph head out.
Just a little bump on that foul.
Liam Craven has re-entered the game for the Golden Bears, and Trayton Woods will head out.
Nice.
And here's a shot. Good. Fricks now with 9 in the game. Marshall back in front by 10.
That was a nice pass by Ochuti and a nice catch and finish by Wyatt.
You talked about Tackett, and he was one of our impact players along with Cole Chapman. And Cole's still in the gold and blue. That's what he wore at Shady Spring.
Yeah.
Adam Seams.
Got to get one up.
Here is Chapman rifling, can't get it to go, tapped around, and it falls into the hands of Slay. Wyatt Fricks.
Good hands.
Disrupted there. Tackett could not hang on. He was out of bounds, and I believe it's going to stay with the Golden Bears.
Yeah, it was a good hustle back. Got a hand on it when it looked like Tackett was going to have a layup. And then I think it just went out on Bryce Slay. But Tackett's also not going to beat anybody down the floor.
He was ahead of the pack for a slight second.
But that is not his game.
Chapman negotiating there against Harding. And good job there by Brandon Moore, and that will stay with the Golden Bears.
Yeah, and a good job by Eric Harding going straight up. Cole Chapman was trying to get into his body right there and create a foul, and Harding just did a good job of staying away, and then good hustle by Moore to save that one and give the Golden Bears another chance.
Kai Spears has checked in for Marshall, and
that's twice they've done that on out-of-bounds plays.
Give it to the Thundering Herd. The last game for Tech was right here in the area. They played at Shawnee State nearby. Portsmouth lost 70-63, battled back from a 15-point deficit to make it a game. Tackett led the way at 16 points in the contest. Goings had 11 points and 10 rebounds, and Trayton Woods had 11 off the bench. Ochuti gets it out to Spear, who sends it over to Spears.
And Shawnee State is good this year, so that's not a bad loss.
Shot is
nice.
Up and in by Slay.
Nice jumper by the freshman right there. Came off with some confidence and let that one fly.
Seams missed the shot, and Marshall back with it. Talking with the coaching staff for Tech, and they mentioned that Shawnee State team going to be really difficult this season, and they gave them all they wanted. But there's Harding collecting 2 for Marshall. Thundering Herd 29 to 15, 7.5 and counting here in this first half. On the move is Brandon Moore. Shot denied. Slay looking for another. Can't get that to go. Tackett comes away with it.
It's a good box out right there by Seams.
There's Seams. Moore on the move, and Moore's shot won't go. A foul is going to be called as we go under the 7-minute mark here, and Marshall stretching it out here a bit. They lead it by 14 in this pre-Christmas showdown between Tech and Marshall in Huntington. Corny Jackson huddled with his Thundering Herd of Marshall. Second season guiding this program. Served as an assistant under Dan D'Antoni. And, of course, an assistant coach at West Virginia State, Tennessee Martin, Cleveland State before making his way here where he starred as a player. And there is baby brother, 2 years younger, Benitez Jackson, assistant coach for West Virginia Tech. Had been the head coach at the alma mater Oak Hill High School, then moved up to the collegiate ranks. And there was a time that Oak Hill High School, Corny started, Benitez started, younger brother Wee Wee started, William, they called him Wee Wee, and also first cousin Monty Wright was in that Oak Hill lineup, who also started here at Marshall. How about that for a starting five?
That was a Jackson family affair. I would say they were pretty good, too.
They were. Brandon Moore at the free throw line has 4, the leading scorer for Tech. All free throws so far, 29-17. Marshall back to work here now. Kai Spears, no Chudy. And Spears slicing through and off the glass and in. Kai Spears.
Nice take by Kai Spears right there. He's fast and he's quick. And if he gets an angle, he can make it happen.
The quick hands there by Slay, but they're going to get him for the foul. Bryce Slay's father, Tamar, played here, and Tamar was a former Beckley Flying Eagle back in the day.
A lot of Southern West Virginia basketball roots going on.
No doubt. Chapman and Craven have checked out. Graham Orndorff is in the game for the first time here for Tech. He wears number 30. Here's Woods. Woods will fire the shot and get it to go.
Nice little step back right there. Got a little bump to get space.
Anything about Southern West Virginia, and then you throw a guy like Woods. He's from Hazard, Kentucky.
Well, that's pretty close.
Yeah, sure is. 31-19, Ochudy. Here is Spears, got the two-pointer moment to go, looking for a 3 there, skying up his Fuquay, gets it to Spears, and Spears,
missed it.
Finger roll wouldn't go, and
missed it.
What is that they say at the carnival, like 5 for $1?
Yeah. The lid on the basket on that possession.
And the foul was called on Drew Fuquay. That's his first. Marshall has 6 team fouls. 3 for Tech. Marshall comes in averaging 78.1. Tech averages 78 a game. So Matt Van Komen, Jalen Spear, Wyatt Fricks, Ochudy, and Caleb Hollenbeck out there now for Marshall. Look at the battle there, Stevie.
Yeah, and you just see, I bet both those guys, Slay and Spears, would love to have those two back.
And Brandon Moore fired over there to Goings. Jackson Tackett. Back in here against Fricks and try to make something happen. Nice little move there by Tackett, and he scores it.
Tackett is nice on that block. He's crafty, he's creative, and if he were 6'6", he would be a big-time Division I college basketball player.
9 points in the game for the Logan native. 10-point lead, and nice Fricks drives and puts Marshall ahead by 12. Fricks having a nice first half here. Goings rifles and connects. Goings with 2 3-pointers in the game. Came in with 6. Spear looking for a 3. Can't get it to go, and Orndorff out of Hickory, North Carolina, snags the miss. They whittled it down at single digits mark, and see if they can trim some more off the Thundering Herd lead. Tackett go in there against Van Komen.
Yeah, it's a Van Komen's tough to score on down there, but
how about Goings?
He's having a good one too.
Yeah. Goings now with 8. Caleb Hollenbeck can't get it to go. Out to Jalen Spear. Caleb Hollenbeck again, and this time connects.
If you're going to play a zone, you got to know where that guy is.
Second three of the game. Hollenbeck has 8 in the game. There's 26 threes now on the season. Jackson Tackett, this miscommunication there by Tackett and Goins.
Just kind of passed it to his bench right there.
That brings us to another break here with 3:34 to go in this first half. It's Marshall by 10 over the Golden Bears of West Virginia Tech. All right, Stevie Browning, you better be on your best behavior, my man. He is in the house.
He's all over. There's about 15 of them. That's a nice, yeah, he went all out right there. Yeah, he did. He went to Macy's and got that.
What a great time of year. Wish all of you and yours a wonderful Christmas.
Doing the 6-7 thing. Do you know about the 6-7 thing?
I am learning.
There you go. It's hard not to. It's a TikTok trend.
Marshall women's basketball player Meredith Baird donned the number 67.
Yeah.
In the game with App State.
Yeah, when all the kids were here from all the surrounding schools, and then they scored 67, and the place went absolutely nuts.
Right now, it's a 36-26 lead for the Thundering Herd. Marshall working with Caleb Hollenbeck, Jalen Spear, Noah Ochuti, Matt Van Komen, and Wyatt Fricks. Adam Seams back in there for Tech, along with Brandon Moore.
And I don't think it's a bad move for Tech to be a man. It's too hard to guard the bigs, but it is hard to rebound out of a zone. You have to purposely go out of your way to find a man to box out, and you have to guard the three-point line.
They're going to get a foul called here just as time was about to expire, and are going to be hit with the foul. Also out there for Tech is Trayton Woods. Tech in 3-7, 0-3 on the road. 2-1 at home, 1-3 in a neutral court setting. We talked about them last time out playing Shawnee State. Marshall last game was that Sun Belt opener, 70-63. I'm going to check this out here. Tech came back from 15 down against Shawnee. Marshall came back from 16 down against Troy.
Yep. Yeah, I think they're looking to see whether, I don't know, after the buzzer maybe? Whether it was before or after the buzzer went off, the foul. Definitely got him right there on the arm. I don't know what else they could be looking at. Goaltend maybe? Yeah, I don't know.
James Curran, Jesse Joseph, James Gibson are the officials. They're sending teams back to their respective bench areas.
Whatever they're taking a look at, they're taking a good look at it.
Marshall leads the series with Tech 18-6 last meeting during the 2014-15 season. 87-65 win for Marshall. Teams first met in the 1922-23
what year was that?
season.
Did they play? What was the last year they played?
2014-15 season.
Yep, that was me. I think John Elmore had his only dunk of his career in that game, and he was so excited.
So Ochuti is at the line. When all is said and done, Dinar was the one who fouled Ochuti. Missed his first, got his second. He has 3 in the game. 37-26. Here's Dinar. Got a nice smooth shot there, but can't get it to go down. And gliding across the 10-second line is Ochuti to Jalen Spear. And Komen trying to keep it alive, and there's a collision as they head down the floor.
What'd you say, Bryce?
Courtney Jackson talking about that game with Troy, just said that was a Sun Belt battle. It was physical, guys played hard. Really liked the way Harding played. They won a lot of categories, but going to keep team off the free throw lines, what he said. And
yeah, and you know, that's just kind of the way the Sun Belt rolls. Everything is super physical. The refs really just let them play.
First miss at the free throw line by Moore. He'd made 4 straight and still
Nice
has
pass.
4, and there is Spear. That's too easy for the 7'4" Matt Van Komen. 39-26 Van Komen with 6 in the game. And a lot of players in that game got that first taste of Sun Belt Conference play. You know, Chudy back with it here for the Thundering Herd. And of course, after this one, it's Sun Belt all the way, and Spears' shot won't go, but Caleb Hollenbeck there with the retrieve, and Marshall goes back to work here. Cole Chapman getting set to come in for WVU Tech. Hollenbeck shot is good.
And good back-to-back possessions right there.
It's his
by
third
Marshall.
of the game.
Yeah, he can, especially if you're going to play a zone, you got to know where he's at.
Moore on the move. Wilson Dubinsky back in for Marshall. Jalen Spear heads out.
And Marshall has slowly started to kind of pull away right here. A couple threes will do it.
Cole Chapman fires it in. Trayton Woods. Here's Jackson Tackett with it now. Tackett's been impressive here in this first half for the Golden Bears. Shot from the outside won't go for Brandon Moore. And Marshall goes back to work here. Nice job by Moore. Knocks it away. It will stay with the Thundering Herd.
Good job by Moore to try and have some anticipation and grab that one. And it slows down that Marshall little half transition. Gives you a chance to get your defense set.
Marshall 9-0 run over 2.5. Wilson Dubinsky launches, can't get it to go. Fricks keeps it alive. Dubinsky again. Van Komen.
Yeah. Woods was really, he was hanging on the arm of Van Komen. And I mean, I don't blame him.
Trayton Woods picks up his first. Team foul number 5 on the Golden Bears. Noah Ochudy sends it in to Wyatt Fricks. Dubinsky still looking for that 3. Caleb Hollenbeck comes away with it. Hollenbeck wheels around, and Hollenbeck will not be denied. Has 13 in the game for the Thundering Herd. Brandon Moore. Whip it around, and Woods, his shot. Rattles around and will not go.
That was a good possession, though. Got a nice penetration, kick out, extra pass to an open Woods in the corner.
Ochudy and Cole Chapman. Caleb Hollenbeck trying to strike yet again from behind the three-point line. Chapman on the move over to Woods, and Woods could not hang on.
Good defensive possession right there by Tech, too.
Liam Craven will head in, but Marshall requesting a 30 here.
Yeah, just right through his hands.
Now you're looking up that clock, you're thinking, and they got to retrieve it first. But you have to be impressed with these guys, and they come in here and battled. And as you mentioned, Marshall, his threes will kind of start pulling you away.
Yeah, and they definitely have battled. You know, like right now, they don't got a guy on the court over about 6'4", and you know, Marshall's got Matt Van Komen and Wyatt Fricks on the floor, who's Matt Van Comen's 7'4", and Wyatt Fricks is 6'9". So pretty much, you know, Tech's the size of, their biggest man is the size of Marshall's point guard right now. So, you know, they have battled to keep it what it is, and they've had chances and good looks and opportunities.
Hollenbeck fired it into Fricks. Fricks lays it in, and Van Komen would finish.
Beats it at the buzzer. Just a good job of hanging around the rim, knowing that Wyatt's going to get to the rim. Good job of getting it up on the glass, and Van Komen right there to stick it back.
Yes, Fricks laid it in, laid it up, and then put it in from the hands of Matt Van Komen. Riley Burnett is standing by with the head coach of the Thundering Herd, Corny Jackson. Take it away, Riley.
Coach, West Virginia Tech played super physical, especially down in the paint on the offensive and defensive half in the first half. What does your team have to do to try to combat that?
You know what? We're used to physicality. They came out and they wanted to play real physical, which we saw that, but we're used to it. We just have to make some shots. I mean, we're up 20 and we're probably 3 for 15 from three-point line. So I like the shots we're getting. I like the style of play that we're actually executing. So we'll be fine. We just got to make some shots.
The team's doing a nice job on the offensive glass, really getting a lot of second chance opportunities. So what do you have to do to keep getting those opportunities and to capitalize on them?
Just keep playing hard and being strong. We said it. They were super physical to start the game, and we just have to keep pressing and be strong.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, Riley, and we appreciate Corny Jackson and his time as he heads to the locker room with his Thundering Herd. And Marshall getting the bucket by Van Komen and right at the end of the half.
Yeah, and you can see Jackson Tackett fighting as hard as he can, but 7'4", Van Komen wins that every time.
Browning's going to be some youngsters that will not be at home for Christmas, and great moment here as we have the teddy bear toss at the Hoops Family Hospital. And I'll tell you what, that court was full of teddy bears of all shapes and sizes.
Yes, it was, and they're collecting them in buckets, and they're going to need more buckets because there he goes. Got took down by that teddy bear.
All right, first half, and Marshall started quickly. But how about Jackson Tackett for the Golden Bears?
Yeah, he does a really good job when he gets the ball down low of just, you know, keeping his feet alive and using pump fakes and stretching the floor like that. And then Wyatt Fricks has hit a couple shots, which is a good sight for Marshall. Tackett right there going to work. Got a little bump right there.
Joseph and then Kai Spears.
Spears, yeah.
Coming in and scoring.
And I'm not sure that's a highlight or if it's a blooper.
Well, they battle underneath there. Jackson Tackett again. Tackett has 9 in the game. Wyatt Fricks drives and scores. Fricks with 11 for the Thundering Herd. Matt Van Komen with 8. And Van Komen, I mean, he and Fricks, they made it difficult for Tech offensively a lot. And right there to end the half, Wyatt Fricks laid it off the glass. Matt Van Komen finished it up. So again, it's Caleb Hollenbeck with 13 to lead the way for Marshall. Wyatt Fricks has 11, and Jackson Tackett leads the way with 9. First half stats presented by University Ford. Marshall with 5 3-pointers in the first half, Tech with 4.
And, you know, what jumps off to me immediately is Marshall has shot 43 shots, Tech shot 28. That makes it impossible to win a game when a team is almost doubling the amount of shots you've taken.
So the difference there in those points in paint and with the assists.
Yeah. You know, hats off to Marshall. You know, they're coming in and taking care of business like they should. Tech just has to come out this next half and keep scrapping, keep fighting, work on the things that they need to work on. You know, just because you lose doesn't mean you lose everything. You got to come in and make sure you are getting better on every possession.
You know, 20-point difference at the moment. Again, last time Tech played, they battled back from 15 against Shawnee. Going to see if they can battle back here in this, what Corny Jackson called the Super Bowl for the Golden Bears. We are at halftime. It's 46-26. Marshall on top of West Virginia Tech. Conference play started on Saturday following to the defending champs out of Troy. So it's very early on. Arkansas State and Georgia Southern have each registered 2 Sun Belt Conference victories. South Alabama, App State, Texas State, Coastal, Southern Miss, Old Dominion, Georgia State, Louisiana, all there with 1 victory and 1 loss. So Marshall will get back at it in Sun Belt play on the final day of 2025. Be right here at home hosting Georgia State. Got about Jonas Hayes. JMU and ULM also looking for a win after 2 losses to get it going here in this 2025-26 season.
Yeah, and you know, the Sun Belt is, like I talked about earlier, it's an extremely physical conference. So a lot of the games are just knockdown, drag out, close ones, and you know, it makes it interesting to watch, and it makes you know, the standings always close, because you know, a lot of the teams are good and they're all somewhat pretty similar. So you know, when it comes down to the stretch, you normally have a good amount of teams competing for the championship in there, which is, you know, a good conference. What makes a good conference.
Again, Marshall finishing up non-Sun Belt Conference action here at home on this couple of days before Christmas 2025. They lead Tech 46-26. We return to Huntington in a moment. Second half coming up here between Marshall's Thundery Herd and the Golden Bears of Tech. Marshall in the lead. Riley Burnett standing by, the head coach of the Tech Golden Bears. Riley?
Coach, your team played extremely physical throughout that first half, so can we expect more of the same in the second half?
Oh, yeah. I don't think we're going to give up. We just got to finish possessions. I thought we got stops, but they got 13 offensive rebounds. We only have 2 assists and 7 turnovers. I think that's hurting us a little bit, but we're not going to give up. I'll tell you that.
You hit exactly on the next question I was going to ask, the rebounding battle. Obviously, Marshall a little overwhelming maybe with the size at some points, but what's really the message to keep your team driven and making sure they're fighting on the glass in the second half?
It's hard to keep Van Komen and number 11 off the glass, but the guards, the smaller guards that are the same size as us are getting the offensive rebounds. So I got to hold those guys a little bit more accountable for that one.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Riley. Thank you. Many thanks to Corey, nice guy, and it's a nice team here. This is a great experience for his crew. We'll see what they bring to the table here in this second half of action.
Yeah, I like what he said right there. You know, it's one thing for Van Komen to be having his way on the offensive glass, but you know, the guards getting rebounds is a little more controllable. So I would say that you would see an emphasis on boxing these guards out, these Marshall guards out in the second half here.
Let's check back in with what you talked about before this game tipped off and your keys to the game, Stevie.
Well, you know, it has been a battle to keep Marshall off the glass. They've done a decent job. Tech has it guarding the three-point line. And on Marshall's end, you know, they've done a good job of attacking the glass, and they've done a good job of pushing the pace. And that's why they have this 20-point lead.
But they need to get this guy going, number 1, Brandon Moore. And how about Tackett launching and connecting to get it going? His second 3
He's a hooper.
The basketball game.
He's a hooper, and he's not afraid of anything.
Great way for Tech to begin. Brandon Moore, the team's leading scorer, just 4 free throws in that first half of action.
And they're going to get a grab on Moore, I believe. And you can see him smiling a little bit like, you know, I did what I had to do.
It's his first of the game. The Brandon Moore, Cole Chapman, Ian Goings, Jackson Tackett, and Liam Craven are the starters for WVU Tech here in the second half of action. Marshall goes with Noah Ochudy, Caleb Hollenbeck, Matt Van Komen, Wyatt Fricks, and Jalen Spear.
Yeah, and it looks like Goins just kind of hip check Spear right there. And Goins is going to pick up another foul back to back.
Well, that is 3 now on Ian Goins, the young man from Columbia, South Carolina. Caleb Hollenbeck to Noah Ochudy, and Ochudy zips through and scores right down the lane.
Yeah, and he's really good when he's going downhill like that, attacking, getting to the rim, getting to that mid-post, mid-range area.
Ochudy has 5 in a game. Moore driving in there, had to release it, and right into the hands of Caleb Hollenbeck.
And Moore's got to stop going in and leaving his feet. Nice shot right there by Hollenbeck. Okay. But Moore's got to stop going in and leaving his feet. That's 4 or 5 times he's done it, and he knows Van Komen's coming, so he kind of gets caught in the air and has to, you know, try and make a wild pass or whatever. Get in there, land on 2 feet. That way you can make a basketball play out of it.
Hollenbeck draining another 3. He has 4 in the game. He leads Marshall and all scores with 16. Here's Tackett. Tackett out to Goins. Shot would not drop for Ian Goins, and Jalen Spear now goes to work here. Ochudy.
Yep, and got more with a little wrap up right there. Nice deceleration right there by Ochudy. If you watch the NBA, that's a famous Luka Doncic move. He was the first person that really you know, went all in on that deceleration. But it's a good one to get people off balance and kind of throw off the timing of shot blockers and whoever's guarding you.
Ochudy at the free throw line, hits the first and ready for number 2. Adam Seams checks in for the Golden Bears, and Moore will head out.
Marshall showing a little pressure right here.
Ochudy now has 7 in the game as he nailed both of his free throw shots. Jackson Tackett. Now back to Goins. Tackett wheeling his way, working against Fricks, and denied there. Spear to Ochudy. Ochudy going to be cut off there, and we'll get it to Spear, and quick hands there by Craven.
Yeah, that was nice hands right there by Craven. Looked like Jalen Spears was going to have a nice open turnaround jumper right there.
Possession arrow keeps it with the Thundering Herd of Marshall, up 53-29 here with 17:38 to go just early on here in this second half. Great to have you with us, along with former Herd standout Stevie Browning, sideline reporter Riley Burnett, our great ESPN crew. I'm Mark Martin, delighted to have you with us, and Caleb Hollenbeck just could not get that one to go.
I like that play, though. Offside kind of flare screen. Difficult to execute, but they did it perfectly. He got a wide open shot.
Matt Van Komen will head out for the Thundering Herd. Eric Harding is back in out of Charlotte.
And that's what makes it so tough on Tech, is like Van Komen comes out and they bring another 7-footer right back in. So you never get a break from that size with Marshall, and that's war. A lot of teams down this year, not just Tech.
Tech going to call a timeout here in our game officials. James Curran, Jesse Joseph, and James Gibson. Marshall has won 8 in a row in this series with Tech. We mentioned in the first half, they lead at 18-6. Courtney Jackson's crew at the moment of 53-29 here at the Cam Henderson Center. Let's go to be Tech basketball.
Got a little challenge overturned right there.
Get all of ESPN college basketball all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. 53-29. And it will be Cole Chapman to send it in. Ian Goings working against Fricks. Adam Seams over to Tackett. Old Chapman through some traffic. I'm winding down here. Goings puts it up a little too strong. And now back comes Marshall. Jalen Spear, Wyatt Fricks, Eric Harding, Caleb Hollenbeck. Wyatt Fricks out there, and Fricks now with 13 in the game.
Nice pass, nice finish. Good job by Wyatt Fricks to get it up in the air early and not give Tech a chance to reach it all.
Seems the shot denied there. Trayton Woods ready to re-enter the game for Tech. Caleb Hollenbeck driving there on that baseline. Fricks attacking and can't get it to go and hits the deck in the process.
A nice defensive possession by Tech.
Jackson Tackett picked up there by Harding. Goings. It's cut off there by Fricks. And again, that shot clock winding down. Here's Tackett. What he does best, maneuver around that bucket, and Tackett did get it off. But shot clock also sounding as well, and that brings us to a break here. Marshall 55 and Tech 29. Golden Bears looking for answers here inside the Cam Henderson Center. Welcome back to the Cam Henderson Center. Marshall playing its final non-Sun Belt Conference game of the season, entertaining the Golden Bears of West Virginia Tech. Next up for Corny Jackson's crew, the second Sun Belt Conference game of the season as they entertain Georgia State on New Year's Eve afternoon. And it will be Jonas Hayes and his crew in here. 4 o'clock tip-off. They got us working on New Year's Eve, Stevie, but we'll still have time to break out those party hats, the noisemakers, and have some food later in the evening.
Absolutely. And listen, for me,
no better place to be, right?
Yeah, I couldn't think of a better place to be than sitting right here in the Cam watching some basketball.
Love it. Should be a great crowd for that one. Nice crowd here for this one as we are approaching Christmas Day. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve. Hope all of you and your family, friends, loved ones enjoying an evening together. If you're not here watching basketball here, Marshall on top of Tech, 59-29. Slay back in the game for the Thundering Herd, number 8. And Ochuti will be fouled. So you got Jalen Spear, Eric Harding, Noah Ochuti, Bryce Slay. And also in the game for the Thundering Herd, number 9, Shamari Hugie has checked in, the junior from Savannah. Adam Seams, Jackson Tackett, Brandon Moore back in for the Golden Bears. Also Trayton Woods out there, Ian Goings, Ochuti at the line and connects.
And a good job by Ochuti to just kind of stick with that right there.
Ochuti now 5 of 6 at the free throw line. Marshall leads at 57-29. A personal was on Tackett, who now has 2 in the game. Here is Tackett working against Slay. Will be a whistle and a foul there.
Yep. I think they got Slay on a grab or a reach or something right there. You know, with Tackett, you got to be physical because he's gonna bump and bang as much as he can.
Here Seams in all kinds of trouble and somehow got out of there. And then Out of bounds step, I believe, by Trayton Woods.
Tech has had a bunch of those little heels on the out of bounds in the corners.
No, Ochuti back to work here now. Here is Jalen Spear to Harding, back to Spear. Now Harding in the paint. Spear is open. Spear connects.
Nice extra pass right there by Slay.
Spear's first bucket of the game, a three-pointer. Came in averaging 13.9, 32nd three-pointer of the season for the young man from Gainesville, Florida. 60-29. Brandon Moore off the glass and in. Moore gets his first field goal of the game. So two big guys, scorers here, and back-to-back getting their first buckets of the game from the field. Moore had hit the free throws. 60-31. Marshall comes up empty, and now Tech goes to work, and Craven lost the handle. Check that. Woods lost the handle. Forgive me.
Yeah, and he was kind of fumbling it the whole way down the floor because he had Moore kind of streaking for a layup, and he saw him, but he just wasn't able to get it to him.
Landon Joseph checks in for Marshall. He's got a good look there at that last possession there. Ochuti comes out. Tech with the ball. Brandon Moore to Lima Senior High School, Lakeland Community College. Shot from the baseline, rattles around, and wouldn't drop through for Ian Goings. Jalen Spear on the move for Marshall.
Good job by Goings to push Harding out that far.
And then Goings going to pick up, I believe, his. He's going to be whistled for the foul. That's going to be 4.
Yeah, but that's still a good job. You know, when you're playing guys who are a whole lot taller than you can't let them catch it on a blocker. It's just, you know, one dribble or even not one dribble, turn around, jump hook. If you can push them out to that 14, 15, 16-foot space, you give yourself a chance.
Goings is heading out as Spear misfires on the three-point attempt. Roman Kellum is in the game. Played his high school ball not far from here. South Charleston High School for the Black Eagles. Shot up and in and out. Would not go for Trayton Woods. Roman Kellum, a 6'6" freshman. Another one of those West Virginia natives on this Tech roster. Jalen Spear, quick release and guns it through.
And that's his second 3 of the half.
Ball lost there by Tech, and here is Spear. Really fouled by Tackett.
Might be an intentional.
Yep, it is, Stevie. Good call. It's Jackson Tackett.
Let's see. Yeah, just kind of grabs him and shoves him.
Tackett picking up his third. Jalen Spear will head to the free throw line. Spear, 24 of 28 heading into this game tonight. A Lou Henson Player of the Year early season watch list individual.
Yeah, and he's not having his best game tonight, but, you know, from a Marshall perspective, if there was a game that he wasn't going to play his best, it might as well be this one.
He is up to 8 now, and Slay looking and gets it into Van Komen. Orndorff getting set to re-enter for the Golden Bears. Battle for it there. Van Komen couldn't hang on. Trayton Woods to Jackson Tackett. Adam Seams, nice pass to Tackett. Trayton Woods open momentarily there in the corner. Now comes out. Shot clock winding down at 4 and out of bounds. It'll stay with Tech.
And Joseph's doing what he does, getting after it and hounding ball handlers, and almost came up with an on-ball steal right there.
I like this Tech coaching staff. I mean, they're working hard and very encouraging.
Yeah, and you can see them. They know as Tackett hits another 3. They know the scouts. They know all the plays that's happening. They're well prepared. Yeah,
how about that bucket? Tackett knocks down the 3. He's got 3 in the game, and Joseph throws it away. And time was winding down there for the Golden Bears, but Tackett puts it through, and Tackett now has 15 in the game, leads the way for the Golden Bears. Cole Chapman and the Golden Bears are battling the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Herd up 65-34 here in Huntington. West Virginia Tech will stay on the road. They will be completing the 2025 portion of the season with this game here tonight. Going to play at Indiana University East there in Richmond, Indiana. Then they're going to come back this way, go up against Kentucky Christian down there in Grayson, play at St. Mary of the Woods College. They're in St. Mary of the Woods, Indiana, and then
that's a place.
We'll be at home.
St. Mary's of the Woods is a place.
Yes, sir. University of Rio Grande will then invade Beckley. Play there in the Raleigh County Convention Center, and I think you and I know it, and we'll always know it as the Armory in Beckley. What a great venue that is. And they got another home game there against Indiana University. Southeast River States Conference NAIA action. Rest of the way, Orndorff and Cole Chapman goes to Jackson Tackett. Race for the basketball, and Dubinsky went out of bounds. Great hustle by Wilson Dubinsky.
And I've had some battles in that Beckley Armory. And just out of bounds right there.
Here's Adam Seams driving, looking for his first bucket of the game.
Nice block right there by Fricks to step over.
It'll be a foul called against Caleb Hollenbeck.
And yeah, just a little bit on the body right there, but good job at Fricks coming over and making that play, not letting him get a chance at 3.
We talked about Seams' interesting story, how he was coaching. Then they said, hey, you are eligible to play, and great to get him back.
We might as well try and do that with Ryan Taylor.
He was the Gatorade Player of the Year for boys soccer in West Virginia at Greenbrier East. Helped lead the Spartans to the state championship. Just a wonderful young man. I remember seeing him for the first time as a freshman. The uniform barely fit him. Was hanging all over him and was wearing glasses. And boy, I said, that kid is tough. And here he is playing some 8 years later. Caleb Hollenbeck. His big night continues. 19 now for Hollenbeck.
And if he gets open looks, he will knock them down.
5 3-pointers. Tackett rifles up the 3, and a foul is called.
And Tackett just finds a way to score. He's hit 3s. He's got crafty finishes around the rim. Tough. He is a matchup nightmare at that level.
85% free throw shooter. Again, started his career at Alice Lloyd. Happy to have him at Tech. And
yeah, and he actually he won the first ever state championship at Mann High School, and yeah, just kind of came into that landing zone right there. Him and a guy named Austin Ball, who is actually here right now up in the stands, but plays at Eastern Kentucky. Won the first ever state championship at Mann High School, and then Tackett transferred over to Logan. for his senior year.
Driving, Ochuti, and scoring. I remember that Hillbilly team well from Man.
Yeah, they were good.
They were the darlings of the state tournament. There's no doubt about it.
They were.
So speaking of family, you got a lot of family here tonight, don't you?
I do. I got my mom and my dad, little brother Scotty, my grandmother who came from Florida. All in attendance today. It's good to have the family around during the holidays.
Good D by Marshall. Here is Fricks. And Fricks now with 15 again. I'm glad you got your grandmother up here when it warmed up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
A few weeks ago, she would not have been happy.
Listen, I keep wondering why we're not going down there during the holidays. And why she's deciding to come to the cold. Seems a little backwards to me.
It is supposed to be about 65 on Christmas Day. We'll see. Hollenbeck looking for another three, and he's got it. It may be a lot hotter than that on Christmas Day if Hollenbeck keeps shooting like that. He is on fire.
If he keeps getting open ones, he's proved that he will knock them down. He shoots it at an extremely high clip. And, you know, Marshall just doing a great job right now of finding them.
75-38. And a timeout here on the floor in Huntington.
This is a media timeout. It's not a media timeout, correction.
The Tech started the season and defeated Bluefield, Virginia. Goings led the way with 22. And it was a loss to Pikeville. Tackett had 22 in that game. University of the Cumberlands defeated Tech. Goings was the top scorer in that game. Campbellsville defeated Tech. Morgan had 13. That was Max Morgan, a young man they have since lost. Here is Caleb Hollenbeck and his big game, Scotty.
Yeah, and
Stevie.
and he just you know, keeps finding ways to get open. And if he's open, he will knock down those shots. He has proved it all year. Credit to his teammates for finding them. Credit to him for cashing them in.
Yeah, and how great is it you get a chance to follow your younger brother, Scotty, on the basketball floor as a collegiate player?
Oh, it's one of my favorite things that I do. I look forward to that every week, driving over there to right outside of Lexington, Kentucky, and going and watching him play.
75-38, our score. Adam Seams whips it to Orndorff, and his shot just a little short there. And here comes no Chudy on the move. Dubinsky, Fricks.
Block. Yep.
And collides there with Graham Orndorff, and Orndorff will pick up the foul. It's his first.
And Orndorff was still moving on that. He had the right idea. He was just a second late. And Orndorff let that bad boy fly in the corner just a little bit ago on that other end. A little fadeaway Ray Allen style.
Fricks at the line and connects, and hold Chapman out, and back in is Brandon Moore.
Definitely a block. Definitely a block.
And I guess there's a connection to this Tech program with your family athletically. With
yeah, and my little brother's girlfriend plays basketball for the women Golden Bears. She's here with her West Virginia State gear on, or West Virginia Tech gear on tonight.
And back the ball goes to the Golden Bears. And of course, that Tech women's program you mentioned, got by Kenny Osborne, great coach, many years at Concord, and retired there, and then decided, hey, I want to get back in it. He's a terrific coach, great guy.
Another one?
Another one. Connects.
When he gets hot, he goes unconscious.
25 for Hollenbeck.
We've seen him like 2 or 3 times this year just get just go on a heater in the second half.
Brandon
Find
Moore
him again.
was denied on one end, and Ochuti finishes on Marshall's end. 82-38 is our score with 8:10 to go here.
This is one of those ones where, you know, you just got to find Hollenbeck every time and see how many he can make.
Moore working against Fuqua and couldn't get it to go there.
That was weird. Lob up top.
Wow. Fricks.
And Wyatt does a really good job of always finding that and looking for that. And that's why you see him get a lot of those lobs just like that one right there.
Highlight reel, Wyatt Fricks now with 19 in the game, and Marshall up big on West Virginia Tech. Well, again, Stevie and I will be back with you on New Year's Eve late afternoon, 4 o'clock tip-off between Georgia State and Marshall right here at the Cam Henderson Center. Jonas Hayes brings his crew to town from Atlanta, then App State. Guided by Dustin Kearns, will be here on the first Saturday in January for a matchup with the Thundering Herd, and then Marshall out on the road for 2 with James Madison and Georgia State, and then back home to meet up with Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, and I would say on December 31st, you know, I'm not a fortune teller, but you'll probably see a little closer one than this.
Well, this Tech bunch, they have scrapped throughout here in this evening encounter with the Thundering Herd, a couple of days before Christmas, and great opportunity for these young men. But Marshall's had a lot of outstanding performances in this game, including Caleb Hollenbeck, who has 25.
You got to find him again right here.
Kai Spears out there now. Landon Joseph with the ball. He is on the floor for the Thundering Herd. Eric Harding's back in. Here is Hollenbeck.
Oh.
Ball out of bounds and going to go over to the Golden Bears. Hollenbeck had 23 in the game we did here against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and now up to 25.
And I think we just saw his last minute of the game right there, his last jumper. I think Coach Jackson was going to let him ride that heater out, gave him a chance right there. Missed it. Your night is over, sir.
Golden Bears now go to work here. Seams. Tackett, he is open, and Tackett just would not go down for the young man.
No, that was down, but a nice play, a nice behind the back pass off that pick and roll by Seams.
The foul is going to be charged to Shamari Hugie, and I know as a shooter, boy, see, it's the greatest look in the world, and that just that spin out.
Yeah, that's a tough feeling. You know, those in back of the rims. When they hit just right at that back of the rim, as a shooter, you're thinking, oh, that's down. And then, doink, that'll make you mad.
So Tackett's bomb up on the big screen when we were away.
Yeah. Traveled from Man, West Virginia to make the trip, whole family.
Or that free throw, he now has 7 in the game, 84-39. Nice Spears to Eric Harding. Harding to Joseph.
Nice pass.
Spears on the move.
Something.
Ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
20 for the Herd. Fresh 20 here. And
Tackett's going to get called for that little forearm shiver right there.
It's going to be his 4th of the game. Well, Harding's going to go to the line. I talked with him yesterday, and he's going to fly out to Charlotte for Christmas for a few days, and says, can't wait to get some of Mom's cooking.
Well, I don't blame him, because, you know, I feel the same way. And especially as a college kid, you know, an athlete especially, you don't get the breaks that normal college kids get. You don't get the full month and a half for Christmas. You don't get the Thanksgiving break. You don't get the spring break even a lot of times. You're practicing, you're playing games. So that little amount of time that you do get, you got to try and make the most of it and get home with the family and soak it all in while you can.
Shamari Hugie at the line. He was fouled by Tackett. That was Tackett's fifth, so Tackett has fouled out of the game, and he played his heart out here. Finishes with 17 points. G out of Savannah, and he will deliver. Those are his first 2 free throws of the season. He was 0 for 2 coming into this game. 86-39. Adam Seams, Craven, and now Brandon Moore with it. Moore negotiating in the lane, and Brandon Moore attacks nicely. 5 points here in the second half, 9 for the game.
Yeah, good job of getting into Harding's body right there to kind of shield him away from being able to block that.
Landon Joseph. Nice play there by Brandon Moore on the defensive side, and then we'll lay it up a little too strong off the glass. Craven following there, but now Marshall with it. Hugie goes to Joseph. Out of bounds, will stay with Marshall.
And Joseph's had that turnover on this end last possession, but he hustled back, and he was the reason why Moore missed that layup. So good credit on the hustle play right there.
Hugie passing to Slay, and a foul will be called. We were talking earlier in the game about Cam Henderson, Neil Bicey, legendary coaches for Marshall and Tech respectively back in the day. And Tech, Marshall certainly has, and Tech's had some great coaches to follow. Tom Sutherland, the late Tom Sutherland, he led Tech to the NAIA Nationals back in the 80s. Slay at the free throw line. Harding's out, and Fuquay is back in. Slay now has 3 in the game. Another great coach at Tech, and now at Fork Union, Bob Williams. Coach Williams, just
whose son actually,
guy.
Whose son actually played
Robbie
there for a
was
while.
here, yeah, he sure was. I did some Tech games, and Robbie was just a little guy out there with his little ball, firing shots up there at the Bicey Center in Montgomery at the time. Roman Kellum in the game. Kellum out of South Charleston. He played for Josh Daniel, who had a great career at South Charleston, now the head coach there at South Charleston High School, and wonderful career at Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, he's a hooper. I've played a lot of pickup games with him. Oh,
Hugie with the huge slam dunk.
Nice job right there. Going down the paint. Not settling for a lay.
Josh Daniel could score. I know you could score, so those were some fun ones to see, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. He was a good player. He's a good coach.
And his dad, Dave, led the state in scoring back in 1980.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Sherman tied.
Really?
Standout.
Huh.
Josh was the runner-up as the player of the year in West Virginia his senior year, and nothing to be ashamed about if you finish second to Patrick Patterson.
Yeah, no, you can't. Can't be mad at that.
And a great career at Kentucky, and here's Seams looking for his first field goal of the game and just could not get it to go.
And I talk about it all the time. That Huntington team, it's got to be the best high school basketball team that the state of West Virginia's ever saw.
I would love to see him go against that DuPont team that had Moss and Williams.
Yeah,
but I think the Huntington team was deeper.
Yeah, they were. They were deeper. And at that point, even Chris Early was just as good as OJ or Patrick.
Craven's shot won't go. When you think about that DuPont team, Moss and Bobby Howard both with the NFL, and you had Jason in the NBA. But
that's
that's
a load of talent right there.
Landon Joseph driving. Foul going to be called, and Teams are going to head to their respective benches here. Marshall 90, WVU Tech 41, a 23-3 run for the Herd in the last 7:23. Back in a moment to Huntington. Corny Jackson huddled with his Thundering Herd, leading it 90-41. We were talking there earlier, Stevie, about Neil Bicey. You know, in 1957, the AP rankings, North Carolina was number 1, WVU was number 10, Tech was number 15.
Wow.
They averaged 109.7 points per game.
Without a three-point line.
Yes. Each of the first 6 seasons, they led the nation with more than 100 points per game.
That's scoring the ball.
Wow, it's unbelievable. All right, so Joseph at the line. What do you think about Cam Henderson, Neil Bicey? Bicey was offered the WVU job and just simply said, I'm comfortable with where I am.
That's a blessing to be there in life.
Yeah, Red Brown was the AD at WVU, and he had coached him in high school as a football player at Elkins. Benton Wofford II, number 2, is in the game for Tech. He's out of the Catawba Valley Community College. Take away by the Herd. Slay, Joseph.
And I think Joseph's pass to Slay wanting that lob back, but he gets the 2 anyway.
Joseph wears number 6, and he has 6 in the game. Jalen Bailey's in the game. He's a former Shady Spring player, number 20. Marshall takes it away from the Golden Bears. Joseph to Harding. Harding wheels around. Boy, that's a nice little move by Harding.
Yeah, nice little touch right there on the jump hook.
Eric Harding was 6 in the game. Here's Bailey. Shot from the corner, good by Trayton Woods. That's his second 3 of the game. Woods now with 21 from behind the three-point line this season. And speaking of threes, Bryce Slay delivers. That's his 4th from behind the arc.
And Marshall's in a little 3-2 zone here. Switched it up just a tad. Somebody's going to have to help them get the ball in bounds.
Wofford the second gets his first bucket of the game, and he now has 5 threes on the season. 98-47. Well, you look at this one, Stevie, and what's WVU Tech, first of all, take away from this showdown?
Well, I would say the fact that they scrapped and played hard the whole time is a positive. You know, Tackett played well. I think they definitely had stretches where they played defense at a solid level, at a good level. They got a lot of shots that they wanted to. But at the end of the day, you know, the size of Marshall and just the depth, having multiple guys on the court at all times that can stretch the floor and shoot threes, and then also rebound and defend. You know, it was just a little overbearing for Tech.
Bailey knocks down a 3, the former Shady Spring Tiger. What about for Marshall? What do they take away from this?
You know, it's good to see Caleb Holenbeck get rolling again. He did not play great against Troy. So, you know, especially right now, you want everybody clicking and firing on all cylinders, and, you know, to have a game where, you know, he can get a good amount of good looks and good reps in and get hot that's definitely a plus. And same thing with Wyatt Fricks and the other guys who were able to kind of get rolling in their spurts today. Definitely a good thing to have right before you jump all into conference.
Landon Joseph weaving through traffic, lays it up, and Joseph puts it through. 9 points, 6 of those here in this second half of action. Matthew Linville, number 42, he's going to let it fly. He's out of Kermit. Played at Martin County High School. He's a West Virginia native. Here in Kentucky at Martin County. Hey. Goes up with an exclamation point. Marshall, 102.50.
The little fella getting on the rim one time. Love to see it.
Shot up and off the glass and in.
It makes me so happy when I get to watch guards get up and get on that rim for the one time.
Richard Few, who played at Tays Valley Christian not far from here, he lays it in for a basket. But this night belongs to the Thundering Herd. 102-52. Marshall now 8-5. Tech at 3-8. Corny Jackson, and then gets a big hug there with his brother Benitez. How cool is that?
It's amazing. I mean, that's
what
something.
A family.
That's something that they probably have dreamed about both their entire life, and actually getting able to do that is a blessing in itself, especially around the holidays. Makes it even more special.
Well, Tech battled. Marshall so strong, and they pull away. Many thanks to Cody Lynn, Grant Traylor, helping our preparation for this one. And Marshall playing here on December 31st against Georgia State. And again, Tech is off until January 3rd. River State's conference action for the Golden Bears as they go to Indiana University East in Richmond, Indiana. Well, the Thundering Herd with an early Christmas present here before play one more game in the year 2025. Riley Burnett joining us here with Caleb Hollenbeck. Go ahead, Riley.
Caleb, you were just feeling it tonight from Beyond the Arc. Just tell me what you were going through out there, the emotions, and just really what you were feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it was a team game. My teammates put me up, put me in good position. Felt good, but yeah, good team win.
So now you guys are moving on from the out-of-conference games, moving into conference play, a long schedule ahead. What do you guys need to do to stay successful during that time?
We just got to be consistent. Me and the guys, we're going to get in that lab, and we'll be ready for conference.
You guys got big plans for Christmas or what?
I'll be in H-Town.
Guys, back to you.
All right. Great job, Riley. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to our great crew. Merry Christmas to you, my man.
Merry
Final
Christmas
thoughts
to you.
on this one?
Well, you know, fun one for Marshall. One, Tech's going to remember, these players are going to remember for the rest of their life being able to come out here and, you know, play on this court and, you know, play against a Division I team at a high level. So all around fun one. And I would say everybody's ready for Christmas to happen.
All right, so that is going to do it for tonight's coverage of this matchup between Marshall and West Virginia Tech. For analyst Stevie Browning, sideline reporter Riley Burnett, and our great crew, I'm Mark Martin saying so long from the Cam Henderson Center on the campus of Marshall University in Huntington. Your final score, the Thundering Herd 102 and West Virginia Tech 52. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Merry Christmas to all of you, and thanks for joining us.